you're against the freight train that is this FPX momentum, they're just going to run you over every time.
Well, we'll have to see what RNG are going to do differently here. I mean, you assume the Thresh, the Hecarim, and these kind of things are going to come through. Anyway, I like that FPX are still going towards that. Well, now bringing in the Lucian ban because they're on the blue side means that you can't have RNG take that and flex it with something like the Lily in the jungle for it.
Taking their time to make sure they're not getting anything missed out here, not losing anything. I do quite like the Lucian ban as well, like you mentioned, because it does mean it is such a strong power pick for someone like RNG on the red side where they can pick it early and still decide where they want to kind of throw it either mid or at the top. So going to see the Nocturne banned away, and that's kind of the longer we've gone into playoffs, the higher and higher you will towards the seed, the more prevalent I'm seeing this Nocturne ban.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's been looking really, really good. The fact you can go towards Dridebreaker Sterix, you end up super tanky and do a lot of damage. So teams just don't want to deal with it, plus the global presence. So seeing that taken off the board, not a surprise. Now for RNG here, I'm curious what they decide to go with. We have hit 0, it will be the Silas ban. So not giving a huge amount away here as RNG, you're still kind of just taking away those big power picks on 11.16.
One thing I will say, though, is they did not ban the Hecarim. Hecarim was something that FPX banned every single time. So, do they look to try and just first pick? Etienne looked
crazy strong,
monstrous on this pick against BLG. Something that we said shouldn't really be getting his hands on again. But guess what, Dagda? He's got his hands on it again.
Yeah, and this is such a big gamble as RNG. They're just hoping and praying that Tien won't have as big of an impact, but honestly, he's been monstrous. He's been able to get so much early pressure with the Ghost, and then his team fighting with this pick has been absolutely insane as well. RNG will trade it for the Rel and for the Kai'Sa, so trying to set up Gala at least to have some aggressive lane state towards Ming in that bottom lane, and maybe, just maybe, they can get Ming out of this bottom side of the map and working with Wei like we've seen in the regular season.
Yep, going to take themselves the Kai'Sa, so the bot lane duo locked and ready to go. They could, of course, have that last pick go towards maybe a mid lane, ban out some mid laners, go towards top side, ban out top laners. I would obviously prefer to see them pick up their jungler. Do not want to see Wei getting banned out, as pretty much everything's on the board for him, apart from that Nocturne. So we are going to see Tristana picked up here for LWX, having a fantastic series in that bot side, all things considered. And for the rest of it, they're probably going to look into maybe go for this, maybe the Gragas. Hell, they could go for the Nautilus as well. There's so many options.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of the synergy you've got with the Rakan and with the Hecarim can work really, really well here, right? To just make sure you've got this super strong team fight. And even if you pair it again with Jumbi, who chances are is going to go towards a blind pick Orianna unless it's banned away here from RNG, well, now you've got that fantastic combo. You've got multiple ball delivery systems. You squishy everyone up, so then Tristana can take over the fight. This is looking great here for FPX. Whereas for RNG, this is where we need to see them really power through these next this counter pick on red side. This 5th pick is going to be crucial because you know already you've got a strong team fight, very short range coming through from RNG with the Udyr, Kai'Sa and the Rel. But if you can take something up towards that top side for Nuguri that can throw wrench into the works, like something like Jace, maybe they can play through that strong lane on top side.
No Azir this time around, though, for Cryan. He did actually have a pretty decent game last time. Tried to make something stick for his team, but just definitely working against the current. We have to see the Kennen here banned away. That is something that Nuguri has only actually played twice so far this split, but it's something that he is very famous being able to turn the tides of battle.
This could actually spell out Jace pick here. I think it's curious to see the Gnar ban if you are going to go towards Jace, but certainly when you're looking towards Kennen, it's something that can kind of play safe in the lane against Jace, and Jace can't really interact with it as well. It's actually FPX as well who are banning out the Orianna and the Azir, so these easy blind pickable mid laners going to be taken off the board, and maybe you end up falling back towards the likes of the Victor or maybe the Rise here as well coming through for Cryan. Or Seraphine.
Could go with the Seraphine, either or. You got a lot of different kind of setups here that could set up for maybe an Aatrox or something.
Well, I think it works super well with RNG just because, hey, I mean, look, you are this short range composition that really wants to find and engage. Seraphine works super well with the Udyr, and as you said, these more bruiser orientated top laners. We'll have to see what that final pick is going to be, but right now, that's kind of a key to unlocking the potential for RNG and their composition.
A little bit right now, you're kind of looking towards Gala to be the carry here for the side of RNG, and maybe FPX hovering towards these Lulus, these Karmas, the Karma top lane, and
Could be mid.
Chakras could be mid. I think it works better in top. Or maybe you go with the Lulu. Maybe you go with both.
Yeah.
You just look for the Hecarim Tristana carry.
So this is the thing. Nuguri is a bit of a Lulu expert. Like, it's been his pocket pick for a while. Doomby played a whole heap of Karma as well in the summer split last year, where he was playing off of LWX and picks like the Aphelios. And honestly, this could work super well, where you're just enabling the likes of this Hecarim.
I love this if they lock this one in. I absolutely love this. The flex. You don't get to counter pick. You either go against the Renekton or the Karma. You don't know which one you're going out of, and FPX get full decision. Now, I will say that when we have seen it majority of the times, you know, from the side of, actually it's been 3-3 across the board now that I look at the stat. So this could go literally to either side of anyone right now. For RNG, do you look for the safe weak side? Yep, you do. They're not looking for the Xiaohu carry anymore. This is the eggs in the Gala basket.
Yeah, this is all in on bot side. The last time we saw them play this, though, was against JDG.
It didn't look
where they got too old. It did not look good.
But it's not Sion.
It's not.
So I appreciate that. He can be the engaged without putting himself into a bad position. That's all I'm saying for Xiaohu.
Yeah, it's also the first time, I believe, that we're actually seeing Xiaohu bring out this Ornn. Yeah, he brought out the likes the Malphite and the Sion and stuff, so haven't seen the Ornn. We'll see how it goes, but Nuguri definitely in a commanding position on this Renekton in the early stages. But as we get to the late game, like the double whammy between the Ornn ult and that Seraphine ult enables the Udyr and this Kai'Sa so incredibly well. Whereas when we look at the opposite side, you're still looking to have a strong mid-game coming through with LWX on this Tristana, using the Karma in the mid to try and counteract a lot of what Seraphine does in those early stages, and still having a super strong jungler coming through from TN.
Well, the compositions are locked and loaded. We are loading onto the Rift for what could be the final time today. RNG fighting for their series lives. They, of course, still have the losers bracket should they fall right now, but FPX riding that high. You can see Doonby there getting himself pumped up, really feeling the momentum. And for FPX to come out with a 3-0 here, we got to start reevaluating our predictions.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is insane from FPX. They have looked so good all series long. TN now back onto his most comfortable champ, the strongest jungler in the game right now, and he's going up against Wei on this Udyr. This Hecarim pick signifies it all here for me. If TN can get rolling, start making these picks happen with this Karma, FPX, they snowball out of control in classic FPX fashion.
See if they're able to get that snowball again. Let the Gyos go! No FPX Gyos, only RNG. They are, of course, an incredibly popular organization throughout China and the world, realistically. And we're going to have to see them kind of really come out now and make some kind of a difference. This is going to be all on Gala. It's going to be all on Wei as well to make sure that his lanes, like we said in the last game, aren't just multiple different fires that he can't kind of, you know, that he's stretching himself too thin over.
Yeah, this is... so. We've been talking a lot about FPX mixing up their strategy, right? And it's been working, obviously, incredibly well against RNG. This is now RNG mixing up their strategy. They're saying, look, we haven't been able to play through Xiaohu on this top side. We haven't been able to get control there. So instead, we're going to try and power through Wei and Cryin. Like, this 1-2 combo between the Seraphine and the Udyr is so incredibly strong. Maybe they can try and make some plays on towards Doomby in the early stages of the game, turn that pressure into bot lane plays at level 6.
Well, we can see there the grand entrance, Gala taking a bigger chunk than LWX, and that's kind of the difference here is that if Gala can get the, you know, the 4 stacks of his passive off, he will probably win the trade. But you automatically win the trade if you're LWX, because the Tristana bomb is just going to do more, just straight up because it does guarantee damage.
Yeah, as Gala in these early stages, you really want to try and isolate LWX. If you can get the full blast of your Q off, you're going to do a lot of damage and a lot of burst very quickly. But you can see there that if LWX is able to get the bomb off and trade effectively, he's in a much better position. I want to take a look, though, at these junglers, right? Because Tien has actually gone, right, top side, Nuguri, you're on your own. I'm actually going to path from top to bot and make sure that I can try and play through LWX and Crisp and try and shut down Gala in this early game. We've already said that Gala's the main win condition here on this Kai'Sa, so Tien is just like, cool, let's just try and make sure he's not having a fun time.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a smart adaptation. You know the Renekton's not really going to be in any threat. Even if the Udyr did pop himself up, he's pretty safe even with his flash available to him. So just covering the bot side in case Wei does try to get a little sneaky-deaky towards these bot lane duos. And right now you can see just everyone is kind of playing respectfully. No one really knowing exactly where everyone is right now.
Yeah, and the big difference here for the FPX bot lane is the biscuit. You can actually see Gala's opted in towards the inspiration tree. It's given him the extra biscuits, which he's able to trade super heavily and then still be fine. But now, Wei, level 4, pathing over towards the scuttle. Gala and Mink looking to join.
Looking to join, but you can see in mid lane there, it was actually crying straight away, just going, I'm roaming. I don't care if the wave's in a bad position. I don't care if I lose CS, because as Seraphine mid, that's not your job. Your job is not to get up, to these kind of crazy CS numbers, as we can see Tien moving up towards this mid lane, gonna go pathing through that to get the top side scuttle. But back to my point, Seraphine is not there to be this monstrous carry. She's there to facilitate. You want to hit the 2 items and then be at that point looking towards your AD carry or your top laner to carry.
Especially with how cheap your items are in the Moonstone and also then going towards Merlinomicon. The thing is here though, Doomby matches that, right? Doomby, because you're on Karma, he's going to be going a very similar build. Very similar things when it comes to the non-ultimate abilities, but obviously Crying lending himself towards the team fight pressure that RNG can bring. But you can answer that as well with Doomby here. I think when you paired this Karma and Hecarim, the pick potential that you have goes sky high. And even that's not adding like the Reverie battle song that'll be coming through from Chris. This Pony, it's going to be quick.
Pony is jumping in. They jump straight onto LWX. One more auto attack. The Ignite is ticking.
Oh, Chris.
But Chris, knowing that he might have seen his AD carry go down, flashes over, gets him away. That is almost all summoners gone just to heal for Gala and Ignite for Chris. But you can see already RNG, they want this bot lane to work.
Well, I mean, it's the fact that Gala and Ming are just heavily winning through their own presence in the lane. Chris forced to say, get down, Mr. Presence, as he flashes in front of the missile. But Wei now looking to train against Tien.
Getting a bit of damage here. Needs to be careful though. The
TP
bot lane coming in from Nuguri, and they're going to try and chase this one down. There's no flashes here as Chris stayed around. Nuguri going to be the benefactor to all of these kills if he's able to get on top of them. The attract repel is enough. Ming, we salute you for your service, sir. He puts himself in harm's way and gets himself killed to save his AD carry. Wei, however, has to flash away, but Tien is still able to pick up that kill. Wei being way too far forward.
I mean, Crying didn't go with them. I mean, look at where the wave is. Crying has been freezing this for such a long time, and Wei decides, hey, look, I'm going to go for this invade, but it buys time for Doomby to come across. Tien survives, and because you're not going ghost for ghost, Tien just opens up the distance. And that's a massive mistake coming through from Wei, and now kills for Nuguri on this bottom side as well. Not the start you're hoping for RNG.
No, not really. And again, we talk about explosive kind of setups as LWX perfectly buffers the crash down, but talk about early game explosive setups here for FPX. When they get these advantages, they generally don't let go. And this is honestly just such a smart play from Nuguri, realizing, oh cool, they're still here. They're greeting for this plate.
And he's just shoved in top lane as well, right? So it's not like Xiaohu's going to be able to push out this wave. Xiaohu's actually completely out of mana as well. So you're able to just pick this up for free as Nuguri, reset, and yes, you will lose some CS on that top side, but the difference is marginal, especially when you're looking at the 10 CS lead that Nuguri already has.
Yeah, it goes from it goes to a 10 CS lead to what could have been a 20 CS lead. It's not really that big of a deal, as you can see now with that wave pushed in. He still gets himself a plate. I say Xiaohu doing relatively all right into this lane, but with the Dragon down to about 1,000 HP, Wei needs to back away. This might just be given over. He can't contest this. Never mind. They're going to go straight in for it. The Ignite, the Smite comes down. They drop down the Encore. Tien will sacrifice his life. Doomby gets flashed on and gets crashed down. He's nowhere to go. He's just been CC'd for days. 2 quick kills, but FPX did pick himself up the Dragon.
Yeah, this is where you kind of go, damn, I need Merc threads real bad, but he actually goes towards the Ionian. I still think, though, like, this, as FPX, was a bit of an overextension. I thought they'd be able to get the Dragon bursted and get the hell out of dodge, but because Xiaohu willing to invest that TP, he's like, look, we need to start getting some wins on the map. I don't care if I lose that heavily in this top side. I need to make things right on this bottom side of the map.
Well, Nuguri going to find himself away in the jungle as He's just going to try and be a nuisance with that priority you talked about in this top side. Wei not really in a position to contest this. Seraphine had already reset. You can have the Hecarim with the top side as well. But Nuguri says, you know what? I don't want this camp. I want your camp, as he pushes himself forward. But now, Tien is here, and they're just bullying out Wei right now.
Yeah, Doomby's able to roam across. Cryan's got to go collect that mid-wave, so they can't actually contend this. And again, this is Tien playing so well off of his lane states. Getting in, invading. Now, yes, it was Nuguri who led the charge on this one, but you can see a very different style of FPX. It's trying to shut down Wei and watching RNG crumble from that focal point.
So very, very early on in the game. It is only about a 300-400 goal lead. Again, nothing too spectacular. You will have the extra little bit of utility with someone like an Ornn in the later game, but we talked about the crypto versus the stocks, the nest egg versus the instant buyout, as we wait to see now where the RNG and FPX are willing to fight over this one. It's a 4v4 as Crisp now joins the fray.
But you also got LWX coming up. This is not going to turn out pretty for RNG, and they realize that. Like, this is FPX like knew this whole time that because of the pressure they had top side, Tien's going to be free to take this. Xiaohu can't do anything, no ult, no flash, no anything to try and turn this around. So FPX power through this early game, and again, RNG are just not part of this game right now. Wei hasn't had any impact top. He's lost all of his farm on that top side of the map. He's not able to get an impact in this bottom lane either, and FPX are free to do what they want.
Got themselves a rift. Did steal away the dragon as well, so it's the two neutrals that we generally see at the start of the game being taken in favor of FPX. And again, there is still Gala. Gala is still 10 CS ahead of this bot lane and is still pushing in with the priority.
Yeah, but this is where they need to lead. You can see Ming and Gala, they're like, right, we need to get this farm bot side or Wei's just out of the game. So Cryan moving in, but Gala, like this, I think they just need to full invade on bot side. Like, they actually have the first pressure.
He's playing bouncer. He literally can't walk in on it.
Yeah, but I think you just fight us, right? Ming has ult, you just walk straight up. You can then force the flash, or at least Doomby back. You go in, you steal away all the camps. Like, that's where you can try and find these advantages. Right now, though, you're just slow bleeding out as RNG. Tien now, look at this CS advantage. He's got 10, he's still got his red buff, he's still got Krugs to farm. Whereas for Wei, he's kind of sitting there with an empty bowl saying, can I have some more, please?
What movie was that?
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. I was like, that's not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, very different. What is like the literal opposite?
Set in industrial Britain, all right? That's where I was going. But we're gonna look see where Wei was going. He tries to maybe make something work on this top side. It's so difficult now because Ming's shown himself on this ward, didn't actually see it going over it, and now they know exactly where everyone is from this RNG bot duo, or the jungle duo. Now they know that Gala's in a little bit of trouble. He has flash, he has heal. He's just going to walk himself away. Will have a nice little cheeky ward to keep him safe, but now he's in a lot of trouble should he walk forward.
There's no way this is, like, what happened here? Like, I want to know what FPX had for breakfast, because they've been looking absolutely incredible. And I want to know what RNG have been doing as well, because this really feels like we haven't got to see RNG. They've gone for 2 drops in a row. This Gnar pick has been counters. We've had Wei, who hasn't been able to play through topside alongside Ming. Like, this is just RNG taking a completely different turn and not honestly playing their game at all.
I don't think they've been allowed to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's been a, I don't think it's been a conscious choice from RNG to be able to say that they are not the ones to be able to take it. But now 4 plates here for Nuguri, who tries to be a nuisance in this top side. You do have the Bramble Vest and the Bambi Cinder, so it's actually relatively easy for the Ornn to tank up this, but still difficult should he get ganked.
Yeah, the big thing here, though, is that because we've got such a short-range composition coming through from RNG, Nuguri can go towards the Gorge Drinker. So rather than going Stride Breaker to try and get himself that bit more distance, get himself into these team fights and slowing people, RNG will become to him. So he's like, cool, I don't need this. I just want to be that drain tank and try and set up these fights perfectly for FPX.
Oh, LWX. LWX might be in a lot of trouble here. They flash forward and he gets the buster shot, but the TPs are both being committed. Crisp is here, as is Ming. They're going to jump straight in on top of Cryan, but Nuguri is dead. Now Cryan with the Encore does force the cleanse out of LWX. There's the onslaught of shadows as they get another TP in. It's the Seraphine for the Renekton. There isn't a TP right now for Xiaohu, so he cannot join this fight. Ends up going 2-1 in favor of FPX.
And this is so good from FPX. They just know, hey, we have the TP advantage. If RNG commit, we just bring the cavalry, and there's nothing that can be done. Xiaohu, wonderful. You got some turret plates. You're an Ornn. No one gives a crap. So now FPX can turn towards Dragon. You've got all this gold that's invested onto Tien, in towards LWX. Like, I don't know. Things ain't looking so hot.
I will say, I don't think we could give Xiaohu the business for not having his teleport off. That's not really his fault. Yeah. So he only gets it up right now. Gets himself 2 turret plates, or maybe 3. I wasn't quite sure exactly where it started. But now Nuguri back on his top side, going to be able to push this one back in. Yep. And it's going to be a little bit of an upward climb here as we hit about a 2,000 gold lead and 2 dragons here for FPX.
I mean, look, this is just smart from Nuguri. I'm assuming the Ornhorn came out to try and stop it. Yeah, he just spot him, but... Oh no, Xiaohu, that's not it.
He just had, it was blind. It was blind. Again, I'm not going to give him the business because he was trying his best.
Doesn't it? When you
I don't believe so.
Okay, anyway, looking towards this FPX, great call. Crisp as well, beautiful flash, beautiful engage. All things pretty from FPX, and the Phoenix is burning bright in this game. Now Tien is like, excuse me, Mr. Xiaohu, have you got a time to talk about how we're just going to take your tower right in front of your face?
Honestly, the way things have gone, Xiaohu can kind of hold his head up high and say, you know what, I have my Sunfire. That's pretty alright coming out of this laning phase, considering he had 2,500 gold down. He's got these dragons. Like, I'm trying to look at silver linings here.
It's not even silver linings. This is like copper linings. Like, it's really like, cool, you can sell it for a tuppence, but it's not really going to go too far in the grand scheme of things. Look, we're talking about industrial England earlier on. We're moving on. But here we go, coming into this as well. 2 dragons now for FPX. Full control for Tien as well. He's been running amok in this early stages. And when you got an Ocean Soul to play with as well, it feels like FPX have got their win condition laid out beautifully for them.
We'll say, good Encore, good Call of the Forge God, either or. You're in a pretty decent spot. Ming goes in with the Pharomancy, but is going to be knocked up and taken down. Nowhere for him to go. And that's just an overextension, not getting the right combo and just being punished so heavily.
This is worrying. I don't think RNG are exactly keeping their head held up high for that Sunfire Cape in the top lane. It really does feel like they're just falling aside here. And look, Nuguri solo on the Rift Herald, full deep vision going into this bottom side for FPX. And they're going to be able to turn this over towards Terra on the bottom side. Like, you take mid-tier, Nuguri comes to facilitate that mid-push that RNG will have coming back out, and then you just shift across the map in towards bottom lane. But looks like actually Brian will be back here to try and defend, but FPX still get this Rift Herald.
I still do, and I'm trying to be positive. It's not in my disposition to be, you know, damning down people. I like an underdog story. I'm Irish. We're not good at anything, so whenever we do well, we're just like, woohoo, it's happy to be here. But RNG are not happy to be here. And FPX, do not let me take away from this. FPX have been exceptional, like truly, truly exceptional, to the point where I was thinking, you know, it's going to be a top esports who are looking good. EDG is still looking very good, but he's on top of awards, so there's nothing he can really do there. But this is a kind of a performance from a team that I would be very happy to put in and say they are title contenders.
But I mean, look at the gold. Nuguri, Doomby, LWX, I mean, Gala, cool, you've managed to eke it back up, but that's the only person on RNG who's actually sitting there in the top. Now, that gold coming off that turret will do great. You do have the Kraken Slayer and the Serrated Dirk already done. You're very quickly getting that Q evolve for the Kai'Sa, but here we go.
There we go, indeed. There is the Ornhorn going to be used. Flash away there from Doom B as he tries to get himself away. He will be able to do it, but the crash down with the Magnet Storm, able to do so much. Now you've got Gala finally joining in. Heals up way to keep him alive. Onslaught of Shadows right into the middle of the fray as we get FPX trying to turn this one back around. Tien will not die. Oh, Nuguri jumps straight back in, and now LWX flashing away, forces a flash from Xiaohu, and everybody else backs away. It's the support for your jungler, but you need the jungler for the dragon.
There's so much healing that's going to come out though with the double Moonstaff on the mid lane, or at least Moonstone, I apologize, on those mid laners. There'll be a lot of wayward healing coming in, and you could see there Tien trying to see if he could muscle up enough of that health bar to go for the engage, but mid lane Terror falls, bot lane should fall to this Rift Herald as Nuguri will be able to collect that wave, but the TP coming through from Cryin though might actually be able to hold on to this.
Should be able to get it. We don't have Flash, Dominus, or Gore Drinker active right now for the Renekton, so we've got to be a little bit more respectful. I was just about to say it as we go into a replay here. This is Xiaohu just trying to make something work, and RNG going 1-for-1 is not terrible.
The big thing though is the Flash is being burnt here, right? Because when we look towards that Dragon, which will be coming out after this replay, not having both those flashes makes things a lot easier. LWX also burnt his at the end of this fight, so at least for RNG, maybe X marks the spot now when it comes towards the crossing ultimates that can come through from Xiaohu and from Cryon.
Very important to note as well when we come out of this replay, Cryon has the Chemtech Putrifier, as does Doomby, so massive heat, grievous wounds, anti-heal coming in from both sides. You will be able to stop these big healings coming out from everyone on the solo lanes.
Yeah, it's a classic heal, no heal, as comes in with all these kind of more supportive mid laners. Now though, Ming trying to see if he can clear out this vision. I'm really struggling because both Crisp and Ming have been the two premier Rel players, so my brain's a little funky when it comes to this, but Ming now could get a big engage in towards this pit. No flash though.
A lot of flashes down, almost all flashes down, but there's the Encore, lands onto 3, and Tristana is dead. There's the Ornhorn right on top of Nuggery, and he's dead too. Double kill going over to the side of RNG, and the crowd goes wild. They are not dead yet, they are still in this game.
They at least have struck the chest. That X marks the spot now, giving a nice thud and some little bit of gold back in favor of RNG, but they are well and truly far away from actually being able to get the treasure that is the victory here. And now they will be able to push in towards this mid lane. They might be able to get some pressure down in the spot lane. And for FPX, it is a rude awakening saying you're not out of the woods yet.
Yes, Nuggery is big, but those Gore Drinker nerfs hurt. When you're not able to get that one out, the extra little bit of healing. Let's have a look at what's going. This is just Cryon perfectly positioned to be able to just run it through everybody.
But it's Wei here as well, right? Wei is waiting back and forth. He's basically coming through as that extra range. And LWX tried. He had the cleanse, but unfortunately for him, there's just too many people coming out of the woodwork on RNG's side. You get that big Magnet Storm on towards Nuggery as well, so he's not able to get as much healing off as like, especially with that Chemtech Putrifier that you already called out. So not the best of fights for FPX. It felt like a lot of things went wayward, and now RNG, they're kind of back into it. I mean, look at Gala. He's got the Kraken Slayer Collector completed. Like, he's actually in a really strong spot, a full item essentially ahead of his counterpart in LWX.
We'll be able to figure out the third and final outer down on this bot side that will go over to Nuggery as he goes 0, 2, and 3, not having the same amount of impact as we saw in the previous 2 games. And FPX just owning this bot side of the jungle right now, but RNG, they can feel it. The momentum behind them is very much there. My eyes are squared firmly onto Gala. If Gala dies in any of these fights, you have no damage on RNG.
But it's the same on the opposite side, right? It's what we just saw. LWX goes in that little bit too far and ends up costing FPX the fight. Now, with RNG loving the fact that they get time on top.
I got really taken aback by the random. I was like, what was that? I thought
Jamie, the other side.
Yeah, I thought Jamie, our sound guy, was just messing with me.
As a guy from the north of England, I would have been impressed if he could have hit those notes. But
he's a sound engineer. I don't know his magic.
Either way, though, I'm looking at this bottom side. Jungle very much in favor of RNG, and this is where RNG start to have a lot more fun with things. When they're able to get this deep vision, where they're able to play the map, play off these side lanes, and FPX now, they kind of gave away the massive tempo advantage that they had. This game is no longer feeling as fast and as furious as we saw in Game 1 and Game 2, so maybe RNG can slow down this pace and find their moment in the sun.
Speaking of finding their moment, Gala might be getting jumped on here. Tien is on the backside. Flash from Gala to keep himself alive. There's the Onslaught of Shadows to try and keep everyone away. There's completely whiff off of the Encore, but look at LWX off to the side. He's trying to do damage. He jumps in, but he gets straight away caught out, and you can see Cryon trying to go in, but they've caught out as many as there. It's just Gala left in this fight, and it's FPX with a triple kill for their AD carry. They find the fight, and they push for Baron.
That could be everything. FPX can take the Baron. They can take these side lanes. They've taken control of this game, Penguin. RNG have been quelled when they came in first in the regular split, but FPX's rise to the stars will not be stopped.
It gets FPX their foot in the door, and now it's on RNG to stop that momentum and slam it back out, because FPX are in the driver's seat. They will pick themselves up. The Baron, that will be on all 5 members. A minute and a half until Dragon. Perfect time for reset. Get themselves some gold. But look at this. They try to go all in on Gala. Gala burns everything, and then LWX is free hitting.
And look at that from Tien. Beautifully sidesteps Ming. Finds the big Onslaught of Shadows. And I'm looking at Gala in this fight. Like, Gala's got it. But look, as you said, LWX free hitting this whole time, playing beautifully around the cooldowns that are coming in from the Rel, knowing there's nothing that can shut him down, and he pops off. And now, this series is starting to feel like a culmination of everything we've talked about for FPX. The fastest Phoenix, the bloodiest Phoenix. TN time is in prime time right now. And FPX are putting on a sublime show for us.
RNG still have opportunities, but it's becoming so much more difficult. You've got 2-level lead now for Nuguri over Xiaohu, a level lead for Tien over Wei, so these aren't even fair Smite fights either.
And it feels like as soon as this last Whisper, or the Lord Dominic, sorry, comes in from LWX, it's nights out. Like, Xiaohu won't be tanky enough to try and deal with it. He's going to be dealing so much damage to the front line of RNG as well, and if he even gets a look at Gala or Crying, they are donezo.
See, Tien just hovering, making sure there's no funny business here as Nuguri finds himself underneath this tower. He has nothing to really be afraid of as the rest of RNG were starting to reset. Important to note, you now have the Phantom Dancer finished up here for Gala. You are still a little bit ahead if you can get this fight going for you, but you can see here, good wards here from RNG, keeping them safe in their own jungle.
You can't contest. FPX burst this down, full control of this bot side jungle, and now you're looking at a real uphill battle. 5 minutes until this Ocean Dragon. Now, maybe RNG looking for the pick, but you have
Nuguri.
all 5 members of FPX.
Nuguri is caught out by Wei, but is it going to be the fight now? As you can see, LPX has to flash himself out. They do get the lockdown, but they have no extra damage. As you see, Ming has gone down. The Encore is here. Here's Nuguri. Flash forward, gets himself right on top of the damage. Gala trying his very best to keep himself alive, but you cannot get away from Nuguri. The World Championship top laner with the 2019 World Championship team will melt RNG. 3-0 on the day. FPX going to the winners final.
It's yippee-ki-yay for FPX as they soar in onto RNG. They will close this game out in 3-0. The reset comes in for the teleport onto the minions for Nuguri.
If they're not on your top of your power rankings before this, they should be now. The first Nexus turret does fall. Ming, valiant effort, but there's just nothing you can do to stop the freight train that is this Phoenix. FPX 3-0 over RNG, and they will go to the winners finals.
What a performance from FPX. We talked about them having this early game engine where they could power through Doomby and Tien, but this game they mixed it up. They decided to play off of their lane states with Tien masterfully invading to shut down Wei, to take every advantage that they were given and run away with a 3-0 victory against RNG. Doubters be silenced.
What a statement. What a way to come into this. You started from round 2. They've had the most series out of anybody in the top 4 right now. And they are smashing the regular split #1 seed. RNG, they look lost. They look like they didn't have a clue at how to answer this. And this feels like the FPX that we kind of almost expect to see when you look at this roster. Like, it's, again, just a plethora of world champions, recent and even, you know, slightly older. But even then, they're just insane. They're just monsters.
Yeah. And I had all these stats that were there for RNG where I was like, hey, look, you know,
right
for Dragon
right
percent, highest Baron, most towers per game. I was going to be like, yeah, look, this is how RNG play. And like, hey, their kill participation's almost identical, or their death participation was the same in this. They were just getting wiped across the floor with FPX. And I got to hand it to FPX. This looks dominant. This looks like the team that went towards the World Championship in 2019.
And honestly, like right now, this feels like a team that can win the whole thing. This feels like even with top esports and EDG on the other side of the bracket, you have the momentum behind you to be able to challenge them. Because I feel like at the time, especially between ourselves within the caster group, it's kind of like, all right, it'll be RNG top esports. So RNG top esports, I was hoping for EDG because like I like Viper a lot, but he's very fun to watch. But this feels finally that we're like, okay, FPX came to play, and now you got another kind of contender in our top 4. And honestly, whoever wins between our top 4 teams, the rest of the world loses at MSI. That's all I'm saying. Like,
well, I feel like I've got to like put down the RNG now and pick up the Dune B apparently, which has now been changed over to it. Because honestly, this has been amazing from FPX, and I really do think that to see the different styles that they can execute on makes it really tough to try and lock them in. Because FPX for the longest time were like, hey, look, you know, crazy picks in the mid for Doomby. They're going to play through side lanes. They're going to go for the 4-man dives. And even though we saw that adaptation to play through Nuggery in the top side, you were still getting 3-man dives. You were still getting a lot from the jungler intervention in lanes. This series was about the lanes playing towards TN, making sure that TN could invade off of the prio that they had. And as such a different style, but one that FPX could still make work.
And honestly, I gotta give props to whoever came up with this style of play, because it just we couldn't really figure out how do you deal with RNG. It's like if RNG lent towards bot side, we knew it was kind of like more RNG's fault than anyone else capitalizing. But FPX just zeroed in on Wei and said, if you're silent, if you're muted and can't do anything in this game, the rest of your team falls apart. And you can see there, FPX a little bit up and down. There was a couple of small moments for RNG to come back into it, but Nuggery and LWX were just on point.
Yeah, Nuggery was a monster this whole series. The fact he could manhandle Xiaohu in the way that he did and just stop any sort of play coming through from RNG in that top side. And then, as you said, the game plan from RNG revolves so heavily around them having lane control and having some sort of control on the map. They didn't get a look in this game. Every single time from start to finish, Nuggery was controlling, TN was in control. LWX, as you said, was a monster in the team fights, but honestly, it was just like them allowing TN to get that deep vision alongside Doom. It was so nice.
It really was, and such an amazing surprise. And honestly, this result, yes, it was a complete thrashing right there from FPX to RNG. Yeah. But this is the beauty of double elimination. RNG...
You get to trash them a second
time. Well, RNG got to get there first, but it's the beauty of double elimination now, because RNG have been so dominant in the spring split. So many times we looked at them and said, maybe you can do this, and then they would fix that weakness, or maybe you could do that, and they would just blow up a game. Like you said, they were a smart team. Their macro was smart. They were quick around the map. They had their wits about them, but now they need to bring this out. You do not get any second chances. You need to come back into this series, regardless if it's against EDG or top esports, and you need to do something different, because whatever you brought to the table today, I want to see it again. Take it out of my kitchen. Don't like it. I'm a toddler who doesn't like his food right now. Just like,
the
don't
broccoli's
like it.
been tossed out of here.
Just no.
Honestly, I think it's great. I think this is an opportunity, at least for RNG, to learn. But I also think whoever you're going up against as RNG, they know now. That is a serious issue that has been exploited by FPX. And if you're EDG, especially JJ, who's been on form, top esports, and Karsa, who's been playing incredibly strong as well, you cannot kind of slack on this, because there's just junglers that are hungry to pounce. And it feels like for RNG now, you've got a bit of time, go back to the drawing board, make sure that you're able to find these advantages, because otherwise it actually could be, the #1 seed from our spring split out of the tournament.
Yeah, and you've only got like a 3-day turnaround, I do believe. Yeah. So you've got tomorrow's match, then there's a day off, and then you've got the losers losers bracket starting up. So, for RNG, they have that extra day, then regardless of if it's top esports or EDG, but you're going to be feeling your pride on this one there. Like that one was it wasn't even close. And I don't like saying that, because again, RNG all our teams and our top 4 are fantastic. But that was just FBX coming out and saying, oh, sorry, we're the world champions from 2019 with the world champion top laner from 2020.
And I think it's such a statement, right? Because our conversation for this playoffs has been the old gods versus the new.
Yep.
We've been talking about JDG top versus RNG EDG. That's been our storyline for a lot of this. And the fact that FPX are going, hang on a bloody second, lads. There's a new. We're not the new kids. We're not the old school. We're that nice middle ground.
The teenage angst is here.
It's in full swing. Bedroom doors are being slammed. There's a lot of yelling.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there's not. They are absolutely dominating. And for a team that had such turmoil in the regular split, where I tweeted out ages ago, I was like, FPX looked like they were winning worlds. They looked absolutely insane. But that was with Bo. Then we had Beishwan. It didn't look as good. Then we move into TN. I was like, I'm not very hopeful.
Of course, because TN had a couple of issues during the regular split. There was a reason why you've gone, but like you said, damn, FBX. And I think that's the thing. When TN, you mentioned it a little bit during the cast as well, but when TN is on form, when TN is on these jungle picks and in a meta that is just facilitating him or his junglers, when it's literally that top side of the map, you don't need to worry about LWX and Chris, because everyone's focusing towards, and probably rightfully so, your Doombys, your Nugaries, your and at this point as well, your TNs, because these guys are world champions for a reason.
I don't know what else to say. It's like FPX. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved every second of that. To see the different style, to see them still having insane skirmishes and team fighting, LWX again having these pop-off performances, but when I'm sure we look at the damage percent, you're still seeing Nuggery sky high in that. It felt like we're getting this culmination of everything we've seen, the growth of FPX over the spring split, and now continuing in playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to tell you guys now, to absolutely no one's surprise, Nuggery is our MVP for Game 3. The guy, just this Renekton, I don't even have words for it. It did exactly what he had to do. You could see, despite every single time they tried to get him, they tried to get him off, they put CC down, they could not keep this man from Gala as he was just glued to him.
Yeah, he said it, sorry, at the start of it that, hey, look, you can go towards Gore Drinker as a Renekton here because everyone in RNG is going to be jumping into you, and they were jumping into a massacre. This guy was huge. He was making so many plays. I like the way we took our MVP clip of him dying instantly, which is probably not the clip that's best to showcase how strong he was, but certainly, like, when we got to these mid-game brawls like this, he was magnificent. And when you're able to take these early game leads against Xiaohu that he consistently got, power through them, it's no wonder that Nuggery was the MVP over the course of the split.
Yeah, honestly, it just feels like this guy has just turned it on for playoffs. You can see there, this is the big one where he comes in from the back. They know he's coming. Wei is on him saying, guys, he's right here. And then he just, Gala, I'm on you. There's nothing you can do. So there you go. Flash, Buster shot away. Then he uses a killer instinct. Then he tries to get himself off of that as well. There's nothing you can do. Nuggery's just on your ass, and there's nowhere you can go.
And that's the thing. Like, even in that clip, they know the job's done. They see the victory in their sights. You see LWX flying in. You got the onslaught of shadows from TN, and Nuggery is like, let's bring it home, baby. We've had this coming for so long. And when we talk about like a return to form for RNG, I mean, FPX are smashing them out of the park.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Doumbé has to say as he is with Wendy after a victorious 3-0 over RNG.
Hi everyone, welcome to interview, and here we have Super Carry Doumbé with us. So congratulations on that win, and you guys have completed the revenge against RNG. And I believe in the regular season, RNG usually play around the top lane. And for today's game, there's so many top lane skirmishes happen. So is there any targeted strategy against RNG, and how's the feeling at this moment? 那首先恭喜你们今天很干净漂亮拿下了劲敌 RNG 嘛。那其实你们也是完成了复仇。那其实常规赛能感觉 RNG 主要也是个主打上路的一个队伍嘛。那今天你们有很多上路的一些摩擦，想问一下对他们有没有进行哪些特别的针对？然后现在赢下比赛了，感觉怎么样呢？
其实大家都是这么说的。我们那个小田回来了之后，我们最近那个上野联动的比较多嘛。然后主要还是因为多跟队友沟通吧。最近牛爸也是开始慢慢跟队友沟通，然后沟通的他自己也会说一些比较简单的中文跟队友交流。我觉得这方面现在我们游戏对那个有很大的帮助，因为他可以主动叫打野啊什么跟打野怎么做，然后打野会跟上路说是我们要怎么做。我觉得就是因为这个原因，我们后面就是可能就最后的第2轮的比赛都表现都打得挺好的，我觉得。
So I think after Tian has returned on the stage, we have a better synergy between the top and jungler, and also currently Nuggery has some huge improvements on the Chinese ability. So in the games, he can say some simple words in Chinese, maybe like call the jungler for the ganks, or like the junglers can also make some calls to Nuggery. So actually, we have a better team's communication in the actual game. So I think it's a very crucial point for the reason that we were able to have a very good performance for the playoffs, and definitely you guys have shown a very good performance. And also, it feels like the early game control on natural resources from FunPlus Phoenix is super good. So could we know more about this? Are you guys like purposely focused more on the early game natural resources, including all the Rift Herald and also the Drakes? 那也感觉到今天其实你们整个对野区前期的控制都特别好嘛，就前面的小龙、峡谷先锋。那今天会不会有特别的去针对一下，就是前期的野区资源呢？然后前期一般游戏的节奏是怎么进行的？
就是其实前面节奏还是就是一般都是听小田的嘛，因为小田是打野，然后野区的什么反野啊，或什么野区控支援或什么，就在野区打架，小龙包括那个小龙跟那个先锋一般都是前面都是听小田的。然后需要队友的话，他会主动叫队友，call队友说要帮，然后或者我们线上有线权的话，有优势的话，我们会主动跟小田说你可以进那边，我们可以进去或什么，然后最后我们就一起决定是进不进。最近可能效果比较好，是因为我觉得我们每条线都是 最近都是一般70%-80%都是优势吧，然后每个线上的都打得挺好，然后所以小田可能也觉得挺舒服，说实话。
I feels like for the early game call, usually it will be made by Tian, and definitely Tian have a very good control on the natural resources, and he will like based on the different situations to decide whether to get into the opponent's jungle or whether to control all the Drakes or Rift Herald, and also he'll if he needs help, he'll just make the call to all the laners, and also if we were dominant in the laning phase, we'll also make some short calls to Tian. Maybe we can help you here and there. So I think. The reason for us we're able to have a very good control on natural resources is also because normally around 7 to 800%, we for the lanes, all the lanes can get some dominance or at least push the lanes. So I think because of that reason, Tian can also control the natural resources quite comfortably. So I think it's based on our teamwork. And also let's move on to today's game. Actually in game 2, you guys got the win with a super gorgeous team fight around the Baron pit. At that time, the opponents actually got the Baron, but a 4v5 team fight, you got the victory. So could we know more about that scene?
那其实第二局最后也是一波团结束掉了比赛。其实当时对面也是拿到了大龙，然后你们是一波4v5的团战嘛，然后当时是发生了什么能让你们这么迅速的拿下那波团，最后终结比赛呢？
首先那个位置我们是一直都想打的，因为我觉得我们都装备挺好的，然后就算我们虽然我们少个人，但是我觉得我们打团是不会输的，真的打起来的话。还有一个是牛宝从那边绕，其实一开始是我们都想往右边走的，然后呢后面觉得是最好是让一个牛宝绕后，然后我们3个人站在一起，这样才能过得去。然后我们后面就选择就让牛宝一个人绕，然后我们3个人就走左边那里。然后他那个位置呢，其实我觉得。挺好打的吧？我觉得，因为他骗了很多技能嘛。他们抓那个莉莉娅的时候，前面用了很多技能，然后打那个牛宝的用了很多技能，所以我觉得我们后面比较好打。主要是笑太肥了。
At that time, we got a huge lead in the item build, and also, to be honest, we were also seeking for the opportunity to make the hard engagement. And at that time, Nogri would like to make a flank. To be honest, we would like to move to our right side a bit around the dragon pit, but then we feels like if we just the other 3 of us just gather together and move to the left side, there will be a very good angle for Nogri's flank, and we're able to grab more leads for that team fight. So that's the reason for us to make the hard engagement in here. And also, in order to got our Lilia on the opponent's team, they have used so many skill shots, and they have used another skill shots to Nogri. So at that time, we feels like we were in a huge advantage. But I must say, the biggest reason for us to get the win is our differential in the item build. And also, let's move on to game 3. In game 3, the opponent's team, they have chosen Seraphim Maid. In response to that, we have seen a Karma versus Seraphim matchup. So could we know the reason for choosing that Karma? And do you feel it's a very good counter pick against Seraphim? Because Seraphim is quite a hot pick in this meta.
那么其实来到第3局，在对面选出了一个萨勒芬尼中单的情况下，你是选出了卡尔玛来予以应对吗？那你会不会觉得，就想问一下，选出卡尔玛的原因是什么？是不是觉得算是有一点点小 counter pick 的感觉？因为其实现在萨勒芬尼中单还是蛮火的。
第一是我跟我的粉丝们说过，今年春季赛一定要拿个卡尔玛或者露罗左翼，要证明自己。然后第二是，就第2把开始，刘青松一直在亮个那个露罗，在嘲讽我，我觉得这个不太。我觉得不太对，我觉得他在嘲讽我，然后第3把就开始前，我觉得我要证明自己，然后刚好对面选了个萨勒芬尼嘛，我觉得这种辅助英雄、这种混子英雄玩的最好的肯定是我嘛，所以我当时就选择就跟那个牛排说，给我卡尔玛吧，卡尔玛或者露罗，然后牛排后面觉得还是卡尔玛比较好，露罗还是下次一定先玩卡尔玛再说，所以就选了卡尔玛。
I've already told all my fans that I definitely in the spring split I will choose either Karma or Lulu or Zoe to prove myself, to prove my champion pool. And also for today's game, in game 2, actually Chris have shown Lulu a lot of times in the ban pick phase. So I feel I got BM'd. So at that time, I just told the coach team Stick I would like to choose either Lulu or Karma for game 3. And And then after some considerations, Stick has considered like Karma can be a better pick because I believe I am the best one with the utility mid champions. So definitely with Karma, I got the confidence. And also game 3 goes quite back and forth in the mid game, but with a few team fight, especially around the main lane, you were able to get more leads. So could we know like who's the one that made the shot call for the mid game, and also could we know more about that team fights? 那其实能感觉到第三局也是稍微有些焦灼的在中间，但是你们会通过中路的几波团战为自己确定了非常非常大的优势。想问一下，那几波中期团都是一般谁来进行指挥的呢？然后当时都是一些什么样的情况？
就重期团的话，因为什么小龙或者什么先锋的时候，我们都想打架嘛。然后小龙想打小龙的时候，他们一般都会来中路，想跟我们一起抢中线。然后那种情况，我觉得最好是水线到水影。然后我觉得最近做的比较好的点是，就是这种团队上的什么配合，我觉得比较好。然后比对面早到。然后那波是因为小天刚好就是第3把是玩了人马嘛。就上次那个我们打京东的时候，那把人马也是小天玩人马的时候是比较喜欢绕后，然后喜欢就很主动的想开团的。然后我们那把是刚好有个卡尔玛呀，还有小炮，还有鳄鱼都可以跟，还有洛，所以我们就跟小天说，你想怎么开就怎么开，就随便开。反正我们是只要能开到对面的萨拉芬尼的话，怎么样都能赢。因为我记得有一波团是萨拉芬尼是没闪现，有一波团是萨拉芬尼有闪。我们当时说的是，不管有没有闪现，就开萨拉芬尼，我们100%就能赢。
To be honest, we would like to focus on the team fight around the Drake Peak or around the Rift Herald, and we also think before those team fights, we need to like push the main lane. So main lane is very crucial. The team that can be settled down around the main lane can get the initiative for the team fight and will have a huger win rate to get the win for that team fight. So I think. For now, FunPlus Phoenix, we have a better team's coordination and a better synergy, so we were able to get the win for those team fights. And also for game 3, Tian have chosen his hack cream. I still remember his hair cream in the last best of 5 against JD Gaming. He can always find a super good angle to make the flank and make the hard engagement. And also for our team's communication, we just decided we try to target on the opponent's Seraphine. No matter the Seraphine got the flash or not, because one team fight she got and another team fight and she didn't. No matter she got the flash or not, if we just make the hard engagement on the opponent's main laner, the opponent's main Seraphine, definitely we were able to make the perfect team fights and grab more leads for our team. And also my last questions. After this victory, you were able to get into the winner bracket, and it's still a few matchups to go. So any expectations to the remaining matchups? 那现在也是来到了胜者组嘛，那其实后面还是有几场对决呢，对下面的比赛有怎么样的一个期待吗？
其实我觉得我们如果像这个状态的话，我是很有信心赢下场比赛。因为我们其他大家都看得出来，就是我们所有选手状态都特别好。然后我们在团队上面没有任何问题，我觉得团队配合上面打团都没有任何问题，沟通上面也是。所以我觉得我们能保持这个状态的话，只要不膨胀，能保持这个状态的话，我是很有信心赢下场比赛。
With the current momentum, I actually feel we have a very good team's communication, a very good synergy, and also I don't think in our team we have any team issues, so that makes our can be quite dominant currently. And also, if we can maintain this momentum, maintain this synergy, I got enough confidence to get the victory for the following matchup as well. And congratulations again, and best of luck for the next matchups. 那再次恭喜你们接下来比赛也加油！And back to you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.